in sync with the topic of peace. And I thought, let's do the Upeksha Bhavana meditation. Now, you might not have come across it much before. I think it's perhaps slightly neglected in our tradition, just because the mindfulness of breathing and the metta bhavana are such powerful practices. Do we give the time, make the effort to extend that little bit further, to do what is effectively in the family, in the same family as the metta bhavana practice? So the metta bhavana is cultivation of loving kindness. What happens when loving kindness meets pain, sorrow, suffering? It becomes compassion, karuna. What happens when metta or loving kindness meets good fortune, success, victory? It becomes mudita, or sympathetic joy. What happens when loving kindness meets life, truth, reality, with all its highs and lows, the raw reality? That's equanimity, upeksha. And that's where this particular meditation comes in, the cultivation of loving of upeksha, of equanimity. So if it's something you're doing for the first time, just relax yourself into it and enjoy, I would say. Just allow my words to flow over you. I'll be doing a lot of leading during it. And if that becomes intrusive, just shut my voice out of your consciousness and enjoy your own meditation. So upeksha, equanimity. The image, I think it's often helpful to have an image for something that might at this point seem a bit abstract for you. An image for me is the Buddha, Buddha Rupa, as an image of equanimity, that often portrayed with a half smile and a sense of peace, of ease, of calm. In a puja, a ritual to the Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, the historic Buddha, it goes, he is calm like the earth that endures. His thoughts are peace, his words are peace, and his work is peace. And we can imagine him, I can invoke him now under the Bodhi tree, just before his enlightenment, when Mara, if you like, the personification of our inner demons, if you like, finally has an onslaught on the Buddha, trying to prevent him from achieving that final goal of enlightenment. And the story goes that he sends his armies and to attack the Buddha, and all the weapons that are being fired at the Buddha turn into petals as they meet the Buddha's aura. He's so close to enlightenment. There's an unshakability about this image, this Buddha image, an imperturbability. So in the face of ill will, of adversity, he's steadfast. The mind of the Buddha was unmoved. And, how does that trickle down in our lives? In the face of the worldly winds of pleasure and pain, success and failure, praise and blame, fame and infamy, these worldly winds, classically known in Buddhism as the worldly winds, how do we stack up? Can we cultivate this unreactivity in the face of the highs and lows of life? That's one way of looking at equanimity. It's an unreactivity. Okay. I want to start by doing a mantra. I often find mantras help me to settle. You can imagine in this situation, giving a talk, I'm kind of a little bit up in my head. So I'd like to just get a bit more into my body, into my voice, and I hope it helps you do the same thing. So I'll start off with the Shakyamuni mantra, the mantra for the historical Buddha, which goes, O wise one, O sage, O great sage, sage of the Shakyan clan, we honor you. So that's the translation, if you like, of the mantra. So I'll start with the mantra, and I'll lead into the led Upeksha Bhavana, our cultivation of equanimity practice, and we'll finish about 10 past. period of the Upeksha Bhavana, cultivation of equanimity. Dropping into your posture, making any adjustments that you need to. Finding that stable, upright posture that allows you to relax while staying alert. Noticing any physical sensations that come to the fore. Any pleasant sensations, maybe the softness of your hands, the softness of your face, the sense of stillness, together in a supportive community. Maybe there are some uncomfortable sensations. Can we turn towards, face into the comfortable, the uncomfortable? With an unbiased attitude. And how's your heart? What's your emotional state, your mood? Just taking that on board. Maybe it's a pleasant state. Maybe it's an unpleasant state. Again, turning towards our experience with acceptance. And wishing ourselves well. Whatever is going on in our experience, wishing ourselves well. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be free from suffering. In the second stage, we bring to mind a friend. We imagine them as vividly as we can. We bring them into our presence. Maybe imagining their voice, their face. Connecting with them on an emotional level if we can. and we wish them well. May they be well, may they be happy, may they be free from suffering. You consider that your friend experiences pain, sorrow, loss. Let your metta meet their suffering. Let your loving kindness meet their suffering as compassion, karuna. Consider that your friend experiences joy, good fortune. You can imagine them in this state of joy. And let your metta meet their joys as sympathetic joy, mudita. I invite you to alternate between consideration of their joys and their sorrows. To be aware that their suffering and their joy arise on the basis of conditions and cease on the basis of conditions. Pervade your recollections with the knowledge of how things are. All things are impermanent, unreliable, ultimately unsatisfactory, out of our control. All things are in constant flow. Now this, now that, dependent on conditions. Sorrow is followed by joy. Joy is followed by sorrow. This is how it is and has always been for everyone, everywhere, throughout time. We bring to mind a neutral person, someone we don't have a strong connection with. Maybe we met them in passing. Maybe they served us at a checkout in the supermarket. Maybe we noticed them on the tube. But make them as vivid in your imagination as you can. Imagine their face and anything else you know about them. And wish them well. May they be well, may they be happy, may they be free from suffering. Consider that just like you, this neutral person experiences pain, sorrow, and loss. Extend your metta towards them as compassion in their suffering. Consider that this neutral person experiences joy and good fortune, just like you. Extend your loving kindness towards them in their joys as sympathetic joy, mudita. Pervade your recollections with a sense that all things are impermanent, unreliable, unsatisfactory ultimately. All things are in constant flow. Sorrow is followed by joy, joy is followed by sorrow. This is how it is and how it always has been. Now we bring to mind a difficult person, someone we find challenging. We make them as vividly present to us as we can. We consider that this person is so much more than we see of them through the lens of our difficulty. We wish them well. May they be well. May they be happy. May they be free from suffering. This difficult person also experiences pain and loss. Let your metta meet their suffering as compassion. Consider that this difficult person also experiences joy and good fortune. Let your metta meet their joys as sympathetic joy, mudita. Know that their suffering and their joy arise on the basis of conditions and cease on the basis of conditions. This is how things are. Impermanent, unreliable, in constant flow. Now this, now that, dependent on conditions. Sorrow is followed by joy, joy is followed by sorrow. This is how it is and has always been for everyone, everywhere, throughout time. In the final stage of the Upeksha Bhavana, we bring to mind the four people, ourselves, the friend, the neutral person, and the difficult person. And we explore the possibility of wishing each well without bias, without conditions. An equal well-wishing. May they be well, may they be happy, may they be free from suffering. And we extend that loving kindness, that well-wishing towards everyone here present, both in person and online. May we all be well, may we be happy, may we be happy in our heart of hearts. We all experience pain, loss. Let us meet this suffering with compassion. We all experience joy. May we meet this joy with sympathetic joy, mudita. And we broaden our field of awareness, considering that all the joys, all the sorrows being experienced now in the world at this moment arise on the basis of conditions and cease on the basis of conditions. All things are impermanent, unsatisfactory. All things are in constant flow. Now this, now that. Sorrow is followed by joy, joy is followed by sorrow. for all beings, wherever they are. This is how it is and always has been. Allow this understanding to suffuse your metta, your karuna, and your mudita. Your loving kindness, your compassion, and your sympathetic joy. So take your time.